2 races to go until the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. Can someone punch their ticket tonight into the playoffs? Green flags in the air.
Kyle Busch with a very nice start, getting out there to 4 or 5 car lengths. Brendan Poole giving way, trying to fight, as you talked, Jeff, on that non-preferred line early on the upper lane. Did a nice job, though, kind of trying to turn inside the 22 here. Brad Keselowski trying to take the spot back into turn 1.
A great job of fighting back and trying to take that spot back. Not a good start for Brendan Poole. Not the start he wanted. Kyle Busch into turn 1 a long ways in front. So now he's got to just be cool. You're racing against Cup guys. Don't wear your tires out. Run with these guys for a little bit.
And I think this is an area of each run that the little bit more veteran drivers, those Cup guys, are going to excel a little bit. As I say that, Brendan Poole turns to the bottom of the racetrack. But what I mean is at short tracks, we talk about low air pressure. They have to start really, really low, almost flat tires to get that grip. Well, these cars are very hard to drive early in a run.
Great battle for second, though, as Brendan Poole continues to look to the inside of that 22. But as he moved up the racetrack, I saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. look to the inside. Now he'll try to take the spot away.
Yeah, this 88 of Dale Jr., he's 3 for 3. His last 3 Xfinity starts here at Richmond, he's gone to victory lane, looking for 4 to 4 tonight.
Here comes Brad Keselowski. Looking to the inside of that 18, he has made up the difference. It was 1.1 seconds when we went away. And now Keselowski running that bottom line while Kyle Busch runs the high line.
And what makes this possible, Rick, is when we talk about short track racing, that's one thing. But this surface at Richmond is old. It's wore out. It tears the tires up. And some cars are better over the long run than others. And it looks to me that Brad Keselowski has one of those cars as he clears the 18 off in turn 2. Now back to the bottom of the racetrack, and we'll try to put some distance on Kyle Busch.
Allgaier making the move as he tries to get by the 48 and into the wall. There's the 40 sliding up the racetrack. Bobby Earnhardt.
Right here, I'll get you down. Didn't hit the wall. I think right front's down here.
Yeah, we saw the sparks.
Easy here.
We'll have to take a look at it and find out for sure from Goodyear, but it has all the makings of what we talked about. Perhaps that melted bead. The air came out of the right front tire, and that's a little bit of speculation at the moment. And Goodyear will look at it and make sure they didn't run something over, but 52 laps into a run, it's got all the makings of a melted right front tire. You see right there halfway down the straightaway, tire goes flat, the car sits down on the suspension, the sparks are flying. The 98 right there does a really nice job. Casey Mears realizes he is in a bad place on the outside of this 40, gets on the brakes, slows down enough to turn past him, doesn't get collected. But yeah, Jeff, we've seen this before, haven't we?
I was going to say, if you've seen it over and over and over, I don't know that it's speculating anymore. I think it's pretty safe calling it.
So the first caution comes out after 53 laps are complete. Again, 75 laps in this first stage. These two up front have fought for positions over and over and over in the Xfinity Series, and the outside line prevails that time. Kyle Busch gets the lead.
You said interesting move about Keselowski picking the bottom. I agree. I thought that was a very interesting move. I was really surprised he didn't pick the top.
So we talked about new tires as we're on board right here with Justin Allgaier, where you're going to see back there in the distance behind William Byron. Well, that is the 3 of Ty Dillon on fresh tires. He's going to turn to the bottom and easily take the 9-3 wide with Brendan Poole. He's passing 3, 4, 5 cars a lap. With 15 to go, he has his sights set on the front of this field at the stage end.
He's already made his way up to 6th.
And he's bringing Christopher Bell with him also. Christopher Bell also was on pit road.
Justin Allgaier turns down just in front of the 3, but it's not going to be enough. And the 3 continuing to chip away. Now Ty Dillon all the way up to 4th.
14 to go. How many laps did that take? 3 laps? Here you are.
Yeah.
And this is
4
why,
laps.
but this is why these tires didn't pit. Because now, while this is impressive for Ty Dillon and Christopher Bell, they have used this set of tires. Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski hope that these fresh set that they didn't use is going to pay off at the end of the race.
They'll be able to do the same thing once they put their tires on.
But, you know, you let me know when the cautions come out. I'll let you know who made the right decision.
But what does Ty Dillon, what does Christopher Bell, what do they have to lose? I mean, what if you get a lot of green flag runs and now you've gained all this track position and they don't get to use that extra set of tires? What if that happens? Then this is a potential race-winning move. If it goes bad, they're not racing for a championship. They're not racing for the opportunity to hold a crown in Miami. They're simply trying to win this race tonight. You see right there the 33 and the 4. They're racing to be the first car one lap down. So with 2 laps to go, they're going to race hard trying to be that first car one lap down.
Pit road is closed. 2 laps to go until the end of the stage.
And
Ty Dillon holding on to that lead.
Listen, I like this strategy of Hemrick. I don't think he's running as hard as he could be running. There's no need. You're not going to run those top 3 down. You might decide to stay out here. Don't hurt these tires. Run no harder than you have to run. There it is. There it was.
And around goes the 33.
That was a battle to get back in the lead lap.
A little contact was made, and the 33 goes around. Brandon Jones was running 20th. As the checkered and yellow flag are displayed at the same time. Back to racing.
Fortunately for Brandon Gaughan, he's not going to be leading long. These new tires are coming and coming quick. Now he has to somehow hold his position without getting run over.
And way up the racetrack he goes, and Christopher Bell stuck behind him. Brad Keselowski wasting little time working to the outside, trying to get by Ty Dillon. Daniel Hemrick out front, though.
And just like that, Christopher Bell lost all that track position in one corner.
Yep. How about that move right there at the bottom of your screen? Elliott Sadler was 4 wide. He's going to have to try to get back in line. That is a nice job entering so low into turn 1. I love these high shots. You can just see how much chaos they have. And then if you go from there right into the cockpit of Elliott Sadler and look at the work. I love this shot because you can see his hand, Jeff. It really shows working that steering wheel.
And there's 54 laps still to go in stage 2 as the fight for the lead begins. To the outside goes Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch is going to easily get by the 21 of Daniel Hemrick, and he uses the outside line.
But how about Daniel Hemrick? We've got the report from Marty. I mean, there is no question the second half of this year, Daniel Hemrick has started to show that he belongs in this Xfinity Series. He has learned, he's applied. He's been in the front of the races for the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's starting to be a constant contender, starting to put himself in position over and over and over. And that's when you see that first win come. That's when it happens. So Daniel Hemrick doing a very nice job.
Kyle Busch clinging to that lead, Steve. 4 laps to go here in the stage. And one interesting thing he said, Jeff, said the car is way too tight. So what he's had to do is slow down his entry into the corner to get it to roll through the center better. We'll see if that helps him hold on to the lead right here.
Under 3 to go, and Keselowski just peeked to the inside of that 18, letting him know I'm here. Now how aggressive will Brad be trying to take the lead and potentially getting the win here in stage 2?
Would you be surprised if these two got together? Kyle Busch got in the wall just a little bit.
He did, and that contact with the wall slowed him down enough. Just under 2 laps to go. Keselowski on the inside trying to take that lead away.
It's going to be so hard to make this pass, though. We saw him having to put wheel into the car in the middle of the corner, and that just, the car at the front end doesn't want to turn. You don't want to make rear grip. It's so hard trying to make the pass on the inside.
1 to go. Half a car length separating Brad Keselowski and the 18 of Kyle Busch. Can he make the pass complete now?
Brad drove in really deep to try to get in front of the 18, slid up, didn't make contact, but it was definitely aggressive entry. Will he be able to clear him here in the middle of 3 and 4? If not, Rick, it's going to be a drag race to the line.
Here he comes on the outside. Keselowski has the lead. He'll win stage 2.
Nice job, clear.
You called it. He did a great job in the middle of 1 and 2, used a lot of racetrack, got Kyle Busch up the racetrack. That got him the lead and ultimately won him the stage.
one thing he's learning is how to restart. Two of the best right there went by him. Kyle Busch with a great restart, and Brad Keselowski took it away. Now Elliott Sadler goes by.
And look who shows up, Elliott Sadler. Jeff, I don't know the numbers and I don't know the stats, but I do know it seems like in the last 25% of every single race, the one car appears. He can run mid-top 10, mid-top 15, but Kevin Meendering and Elliott Sadler do a wonderful job of improving their car over the course of the race. He always seems to finish better than his average running position.
Well, we've got a battle for the lead here, Rick. I'm going to let you take over there as you see side by side between the leaders.
Keselowski goes to the outside. He's going to try to take it away, and Kyle Busch looks like he's not going to fight for it. Keselowski out front now at Richmond.
And that's a little different look. That only took 12 laps from when these tires were brand new, although Kyle Busch wants to get back inside of Brad Keselowski.
So he'll take the spot back on the inside. And Brad Keselowski drops back to second. A great battle building between these two, and there's still 77 laps to go as Keselowski goes to the inside. We mentioned and we talked with Brad Keselowski after that stage win. He said, I hope you guys saw the racing that I was able to see while I was behind the wheel of this car.
Jeff, as a race car driver, is it possible that Kyle Busch is just driving a little bit out of his mirror, not running his car as hard as it needs to, just enough to stay in front of Brad Keselowski, trying to save some tire life?
You're thinking exactly what I was thinking. We've seen all night long the 22 run the 18 down. The 18 only needs to lead by a car length. You don't have to lead by 10 car lengths. So maybe Kyle Busch has said, you know what, I'm going to back my pace up a little bit, try to save a little bit of tire, just barely stay in front of Keselowski.
Other thing about these two, this is the last Xfinity Series race that they will run in 2017. So bragging rights for the rest of the year. Great battle continuing to build here. Kyle Busch just in front of Brad Keselowski, and now the gap, nothing.
We've seen it all night. The 22 of Brad Keselowski has been better into the run on old tires. Well, now he's done it. He's run the 18 down. He's inside him three wide for the lead at Richmond.
Kyle Busch, he's committed to the outside now, and Keselowski is going to get by him, but all of this traffic, will that allow Kyle to challenge him back again? Kyle way up high as Brad Keselowski splits the 19 in the 0-0.
Got to be frustrated because it seemed like lap traffic was the cause, but the real cause is the 18 struggling on older tires that allowed Brad Keselowski to catch him. He caught him from about a second and a half back, and you see right there just how much better the 22 turns in the middle of the corner and drives off straighter.
It has been a perfect setup for Brad Keselowski. Didn't have the short run, but it didn't matter. When you have the longest run of the night come at the last lap, Brad Keselowski will win at Richmond. Kyle Busch sideways across the start-finish line, finishing second.
Really, really nice work there, Brad. That was awesome to watch. You can go ahead and burn that one down, buddy. Don't mind if I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody.
And Brad returns the favor with a little Miller Lite sprayed on them. Big handshake for everybody. And so were you thinking there, you know what? The 18s made themselves a little bit better. I might not be able to catch him on this long run.
Yeah, he definitely worked it really well and did a great job, and so did his team. But we just had a lot of speed on those long runs. You know, it's something we worked on and we're kind of hoping for. You know, I think we know that we're probably all a little bit behind the Toyotas, but, you know, if we can work real hard and try to be smart and be smooth, you can win races like this. So it's nice to be able to do that here tonight. And like I was telling Rod, I mean, when you race Kyle, you know, you're racing one of the best. He and I might not always get along, but that doesn't mean I don't have respect for his talent. So that was really fun.